an entity wearing a diaper, full loaded with shite, walked back into the District of Columbia as if he didn't try and overthrow the government, as if he isn't guilty of espionage. And the sycophants, the cultists, the bootlickers surrounded him with standing applause. Traitors to their country, to God, to everything that is decent in this world. And still the sheep cry this entity's name in praise as they betray their country, as they betray their God. Well, maybe not the God they believe in, but the actual God. They applaud, they scream his name as orange drips from his greasy face. Yes, traitors, cultists, selling out their country for speakerships and judgeships and $1 million paid vacations, for power, for money. There's also another rich man, or entity, as I like to call him, who just proved to the entire world that you can run a company straight into the fucking ground, and they will still vote to pay you $55 billion when the company isn't even worth that. It's astounding. It's incredible. We, in this nation, we reward oligarch incompetence. We reward this behavior. This isn't the first time. This is the 1,000,000th time. The 1,000,000th. This is standard practice, rewarding incompetence simply because the incompetent entity was born rich, for no other reason. For the clubs he was in, for who his father was, for the money his father made. Probably through nefarious paths, I would assume. You don't become a billionaire in this world by being nice, by being godly. Was Jesus rich? No. He walked around in rags. He owned nothing. He took no earthly thing. Could anyone argue that Jesus Christ was not godly? I don't think one could make that argument. Yet, the godly entities on this plane of existence, they're all rich. Does that make sense to you? It doesn't make sense. But in America, just because a CEO utterly bankrupts a company, that does not mean he should not be rewarded with a golden parachute or more than the company is worth in one payment. That would be wrong. We cannot punish incompetence and utter failure and utter stupidity when one is born rich. We cannot do that. This is not the way of things. This is not tradition. Unfortunately, rewarding treachery, rewarding one selling out their country and their God, is commonplace. Why? Because the entity was born filthy, fucking rich. And that's all that matters in this world. If you're rich, you're a success. Doesn't matter how you got there. Sex trafficking, etc. Doesn't matter how you got there. The rubes, the sheep, they see the expensive suits. They see the mail-order brides from Eastern Europe. They see the fancy cars and they say success. What they don't say is they would be nothing without their daddy's money. And they're not actually a success in anything whatsoever except committing felonies and treachery and lies. So again, this is tradition in America. We cannot argue this. We reward incompetence as long as the incompetence is at the top. When the incompetence is at the bottom, you get a write-up or disciplinary action. When you harass every female employee in your employ, if you're a peasant and you're harassing every female employee, you would get fired, you would get terminated. But if you were born rich and you own the company, or you're a major shareholder, you can harass all the ladies you like. When you're rich and famous, they just let you do it. But again, in this nation, founded on abject greed, we reward incompetence as long as it's at the top. We use phrases like, too big to fail. Yet, we reward failure as long as you win the birth lottery. If you don't win the birth lottery, then you get fired or arrested or imprisoned. But if you do win the birth lottery, then you can fail upward your entire life as you lecture others after you've inherited every bloody thing you have. You would lecture others. You do lecture others. Both of these entities and all of them that were born in the right family, got in the right clubs growing up. We reward your failure over and over simply because you won the birth lottery. This is tradition in America. Rewarding incompetence, failure, lies, fraud, treachery. We let you try it all over again once you've done it, as long as you win the birth lottery. Have a good day.